or my
And good
electronic.
afternoon, everyone. This is Jim Fuse of Fusion Marketing coming to you live from Marietta, Georgia. And I'm joined by my friend Pete Kane, who is a digital growth consultant here in Atlanta. And he's actually also running the Kennesaw Business Association University, or KBAU. And so, Pete, we wanted to come on live today because I wanted to give you a chance to tell people a little bit more about what KBA University is about. But first, let's talk a little bit more about you, Pete.
Awesome. So, having been interested in marketing for probably 20 years, my daughter, who's now 32, came to me with Facebook and she said, "Hey, Dad, you like this marketing stuff? You ought to join Facebook." And I said, "That's for college kids. That's beneath me." So I didn't right away, but then I did, and then all of a sudden I was immediately connected to my nieces and nephews out of town. I went, "I like this. Now I know what's going on." And so I was attracted to it, and then I started learning more about it. But it was a gradual introduction to the digital side of marketing. And I kind of fell in love with it because being ADD, I like things to continue to change. And so I get bored very easily. And boy, you can't get bored in digital marketing because, there's always something changing. And I love reading about it. I love working strategy. So I really, just in my own world, I stay very specific with what I do. I work with clients doing the basics: Google My Business, content creation, reviews, photos, branding, make sure their LinkedIn is looking really good. I call it the digital first impression, which I meet you, Jim, I Google you, and if I don't see anything, I'm kind of scratching my head and I'm saying, boy, there's something's not right here. And that's what I see in a lot of people. They don't understand how easy it is. They understand it, but they don't really know what to do. So I try to dominate the first page with all their different platforms, make them look good, and then create the content and do everything for them. So I stay very specific. And the other thing I love to do is they come to me with digital ideas. They come to me with things that, "Hey, what about this, Pete? I'm thinking about sponsoring a lunch. Okay, let's get your name, your company on the website. Let's get a backlink. Let's do this." So I love to be that resource, and I work with all my clients on a monthly basis at the end, just summarizing things. And I tell this one story because I think it tells best where a lot of people are. She was an insurance person, and when I met with her, she said, "I just spent $600 with Yelp a month," and she's an insurance person. And, I didn't get a chance to get to her in time.
Right.
And she said, "I got to spend money." Okay, yeah, I agree. But you don't have to spend that kind of money in that platform. So I help my clients make better decisions. And, they call me and they just ask me stuff because I tell them I look at it from a digital eyes. And my job is to interpret all the digital language that's out there and help them decipher stuff. And Jim, as you have been in this industry, some of the older people, and I say over 55, they take advantage of them because they don't know this stuff. And so they end up, you know, talking to them in such a way that they get intimidated and sometimes they go down the wrong path. So that's me.
Yeah, and I
Um,
and I love the fact that you say that. Maybe I'm ADD too, because I think that's one of the things I love about the digital marketing field. It is constantly changing. And I know
yep,
you and I both are huge fans of Google My Business. I think
yep,
there's not enough companies taking advantage of it. And really, I think, kind of to segue into KBA University, I know that you've put together an amazing program and really helping not only members of the Kennesaw Business Association, but actually this year even opening up to other folks in the Atlanta area that want to get a chance to really get in front of some top-notch instructors to help them kind of take that next step forward. You want to talk some more about that?
yeah, yes, absolutely. I think as an association, our job is to add value, help people grow their business, help them connect and build relationships, and be in an environment where they have people they can turn to. The luncheons are fantastic. We just attended one Ike Riker, who was dynamic speaker talking on leadership. I mean, I was taking notes and I just came away with a lot of good information that I can apply. And so what we want to do at KBA University is, it was actually Dave Griffiths, who's been involved in KBA for years, and he started it, and I went to the first two. I mean, I just loved it. I thought it was great. It was value added. It was helpful for the members. The first one, it was a lot of the basics. It was the taxes. It was the finance. It was, things, cyber law, all that kind of stuff. Right. It's great. I'm not, but they're not the most dynamic topics. I mean, how do you make tax exciting? It's a hard one. So what Dave and I did, the second one, is we kind of geared it towards sales and marketing, because we felt, and systems and processes. We felt that if people know how to prospect, they know how to sell, they know how to market, they're going to be better business people. They certainly need all those others. And, maybe down the road, our goal is to get some stuff online that's still value added, that showcases our members, but also allows them to have reliable resources. So we're super excited to be kind of the second term of a group of sales and marketing people that that kind of bring value to the business owner. I'll just say two ladies that, they travel all over the United States, and, I had to go to them first because of their schedule. And, they're going to talk about prospecting. And, prospecting, for people who've been in sales, if you don't know how to prospect, you're in trouble, because you got to keep the funnel full. So they're going to spend 2 hours really going through their program that they charge a lot of money for. And we're really asking a minimal amount, because if we can bring down the barrier, let's say financial barrier, and have more people, be involved, then we're accomplishing the value added part of the KBA membership. So for 125, a member can get in and they get 6, sessions. They also get breakfast, and 175 for people that aren't KBA members. But we always like to ask you about joining our organization, but you can still become, enrolled in it. So we have that. And while we're on the topic that I'm on here right here with you, Jim, is I saw one of your LinkedIn videos, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I literally had a big old smile on my face. And that's when I came to you and asked you if you would, teach a class. So Jim's going to do one of the classes. And I think it's these kind of things for the business owner that I love the idea of selling one on many. It's great to be one-on-one, but if I can get my message out there to lots of people and do it in, let's say, a half hour, whatever time you're spending on this, and it's not that difficult to do because of how technology is moving, then I have an opportunity to get my brand out there, get my message out there, target the people that could benefit from it. And I think that's the kind of thing we're trying to have at KBAU, is things that you may not have thought about that we can introduce to you, because it's an all awareness thing. Once I was aware that this platform is out there, I was like sucked in to saying, hey, I got to figure it out. Right. And so, I did have a hidden agenda by asking you to be part of it, because I wanted to learn it, selfish reasons, but it's all the members that are in different areas. And if you can educate people, you have a good chance of them, wanting to do business with you. And this is a great platform to do that.
Right. Well, and that's the whole thing. And I think one of the things that I love about what you're doing is you're really helping all these business owners not only learn, but they're also getting a chance to meet each other, network, build that know, like, and trust, because really, it's really more about collaboration to me and not competition. I mean, even though we both work in the digital space, as I've gotten to know you better, right? I feel like I can come to you and say, hey, I know someone that could use some help with this, and and vice versa. And I think that's one of the things that people need to think about. And like right now, right? We're educating people about what they can get out of being a part of KBA University that you're not always going to get from, reading something and even,
Hmm.
from the aspect of people's attention span. So I think it's great. I mean, as far as I know, to an extent, I think it's unique to business associations in Cobb County. I think it's the first one that really take on this really structured aspect of educating their members.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't heard of any, and I think that when we sat down and we were just talking, not specifically about this, but I always said, how do you add value to members? And I was involved in the membership committee at the West Cobb Business Association, and that we would call people up and ask them to ante up and join the next year, and some of them say, yeah, I haven't heard anything during that time, when I was involved. Now, there is a responsibility. You got to go to these things. You have to, you have to kind of put your foot in and take action. But we wanted to make sure that we do everything we can to help the members have access to people and build those relationships. So this was a natural thing because I met some people in the university last year that I didn't know at all, and got some good relationships because you spend a few weeks with somebody, you do get to know them better. So it's all about relationships no matter what you're in. So you got to build them, and you do have to know, like you just said, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and that trust factor takes time. And if you spend some time with people, you get an idea whether this is somebody you might want to do business with, or at least be able to possibly in the future. And let me just say a couple of things, because I love the fact that what we have on the calendar is some really unique things. And for anybody that's been to KSU, they probably know the Small Business Administration that's under the KSU banner. And Drew Tonsmeyer, I think I got it, has been in this community for a while. He teaches on behalf, he's a Google partner, but there's a lot of resources for business owners that they don't know exist. And they're not paying to get Drew's services, but Drew's going to come in and teach you a little bit deeper into, understanding numbers. If anybody's ever watched The Profit with Marcus Lemonis, he always tell you, know your numbers. And so as we move into the digital world, you have to kind of be able to look at your insights and your analytics and be able to see what people are searching for, or where what page they're going to, just different things that help you make better decisions. I tell all my clients, we're going to do all the heavy lifting, but I don't want you to sit on the sidelines. I want you to be involved. I want you to be engaged. I want you to understand more about this world. It's not going away. It's only going to get more exciting and more opportunity. And if you can kind of gradually go from first grade to second grade up to middle school and beyond in understanding it, then you'll make better choices on who you hire to maybe come in and work with your company. You don't have to be an expert, but know enough to make those decisions. So we have that. And then, we have some roundtable type things. John Loud and Jay Cunningham and RJ Patel, they're leaders in the business community. They actually are KBA members and grew up in KBA members. John was a past president. And so we're going to dig into how they perceived the associations, how it helped their business, and give you some insights from people that have run around the track a number of times. And this gives you a better feel for what you may need to do as a business owner to get on that track, because they've already kind of laid it out and they're going to share that with you. We also have Shelly Elder, Tracy Byers, and Trent Trees. They're like Shelly is actually the president this year, and but she just gives back in the community, and she's tied to so many organizations because she just feels how important it is to have that as part of what she wants to do. And Trent is our past winner of the Business of the Year, and he was always up there the last few years, so he has some insights. And Tracy is on the city council at Kennesaw. So if you want to like know what's going on in the government, Tracy, you just ask her. I mean, you got to have, like you said, Jim, you got to have relationships that you can come up and say, hey, Pete, do you know anybody, or have you seen this? And because we have a relationship, we take time for each other. And I think that's helpful in the environment that we're in. And there's a guy, he's going to be on next week, Joe Stockman. He's going to talk systems and processes. And we had a guy last year, Bing Oliver, that talked about, he works with a lot of Chick-fil-A operators. And if you've ever, everybody's been into a Chick-fil-A. If you've ever been behind the scenes in the drive-through, it's a work of art. 6 people in their stations, not moving more than a foot, with their hands, and they're all doing something, and it's flowing. And those, 30 seconds, they're just going through the drive-through, and that doesn't happen by accident. It is working on your systems, because the better the systems are, the happier the customers, happier the employees. And so Joe's going to talk about that. So that'll be an exciting class. And then we have, him too, Jim, is Greg Burkholder. Man,
and
this guy.
He's actually watching us on LinkedIn. We got a bunch of people over on LinkedIn. Jeff Ettinger and Greg actually gave you a shout out as well for your comment about the branding, and also Jennifer Okins out there. So yeah, thank you everyone who's tuning in live or even on the replay. But yeah, Greg is a great guy. I actually, was able to interview him a couple months back here on LinkedIn Live, and he is a LinkedIn guy, and he's doing a lot of great things in the community and helping others. So yeah, I'm excited that you've got Greg going to be part of this.
And what Greg, he spoke at the KBA. I mean, I'll tell you, when people would say, hey, Pete, they'd ask me about LinkedIn. I thought I was like knowing LinkedIn. And then he gave his tips, and I wrote down 7, immediately implemented them. And I went, I'm like in kindergarten compared to what he's sharing here. We had lunch, and, we've exchanged. And so it all started with him speaking at the KBA. And now he's coming back for a short session on, I think it's Greg's top tips or top hits or something like that. But yeah, look him up, check him out, watch him. Because in my branding, I guess in my digital first impression, I look at YouTube, I look at Facebook, I look at Google My Business, and I look at LinkedIn. And so those platforms, LinkedIn, when I do look at for my clients or people I'm potentially working with, I'm telling you what, they just don't know how to use that platform.
Right.
And it's probably in its infancy of potential of growth. And Greg is the best at helping you take things right away, apply them, and you can see what a difference it makes in your profile and your branding. So yeah, we're super excited about all the things that we have going on. Again, I think you have it up, but go to kbau.org. There we go. Thank you, Jim. And, register, be involved. I mean, breakfast and learning. I mean, if you're not into learning, you're falling behind. I mean, it's exciting to learn. This platform here, like, I'm just like loving it. It's like so cool. I mean, here, like across the bottom there is the registration. The KBA University up there, it is so good at branding and giving people platforms. And the idea that this can be streaming to LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and recording it and all that just gives businesses, I think, a window of opportunity. Maybe
enough of them are not taking advantage of it. I mean, video continues to grow.
I do.
And even, just returning from social media marketing world, they call it now the streaming wars, right? Disney is spending billions on Disney Plus, and, a lot of things are going away from our, you want to call it our classic thing of cable and, I guess, satellite. And the fact that you can now stream your own stuff, and, like right now, we've created our own show talking about what's going on with KBA University. and we didn't have to get permission from anybody. The barrier to entry really wasn't that high. And so, yeah, I think this is something that hopefully people will start to see. We really have a chance to connect with the community, and that's what it's all about. Just like in the talk today, right? You get
Yep.
that circle of community, and I think that's what I have been enjoying it as being a part of KBA itself, is just meeting some really great people that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Let me turn the tables just for a second, Jim, if I may.
Sure.
Since we won't necessarily have a show dedicated to what you'll be teaching at KBA University. So, in your time that you've been working on this platform, give us a couple insights of where you see people using it, and some just tips of what you're going to be sharing at the KBA University. But give them a little bit of insight.
Well, even from the perspective of Facebook, right? Even if you just do a short live video once a week, you don't have to have guests. It's a great opportunity for a small business owner to tell their story and really
Hmm.
connect with their audience. And if you just did it once a week and you come on and you talk about like, hey, here's some of the things we're doing, it just makes you more real. And so much is going into that human to human connection, and even being able to take this video after you're done and repurpose it. And yeah, of course, the fun of it, right? It's live, anything could go wrong, but it's no different than when you're sitting there talking to someone in a meeting, just like when we were talking earlier today at lunch. It's just you're on camera. uh, I guess you have to maybe think about what you're saying sometimes, but people aren't going to get all hung up on the fact that, oh, you didn't speak perfect English or have perfect grammar. And then just the ability to do things like you can share a screen and show people stuff, teach people. And so really, right, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, video, I guess it's every word we say. But yeah, for me, it's been amazing what I've seen it do as far as awareness. Because people see you on video, they may not always remember that you wrote a post, but say, "Hey, I think I've been seeing you on video," and I don't know, maybe sometimes I'm annoying them, but that's okay.
Well, I do. I mean, it's funny. I guess I hit something. I don't even remember. But when you're doing your lives, I get a notice.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm busy. I'm out there. All of a sudden, oh, okay. And whatever. I don't know how it's created. Is that done in the platform you're using right now?
It's actually done through the platforms that I'm attached to, that they automatically go out and will kind of notify people if they've asked to be notified
Okay.
whenever you go live. And that's what one of the things I'll be talking about with the companies that and the folks that tend to come up to KBU. And then you have these different formats. Like we're doing what I like to call the interview format. I mean, you can do the solo format, but even events, right? That's something that I know I'd like to do more of in the community as well. Is just by live streaming events so people can see what's going
Hmm.
on, and it kind of creates that whole, we all talk about that FOMO, that fear of missing out, but makes people realize like, wow, this is what's going on. I need to check that out the next time it comes around. So lots of opportunity. It's really you're only limited by your imagination and your bandwidth.
That's good. Hey, I've used Zoom for years. What would you, I mean, for the Zoom users out there, what's the difference between Zoom and what we're on right now?
So Zoom tends to be more of like a closed circuit private thing. You can turn it into a Facebook Live, but it's very pricey to do that. The program I'm using right now, StreamYard, they have a free plan, so you could do what we're doing right now on your Facebook page at no additional cost. I mean, you miss out on a couple of the benefits of going paid, but I also think with some of the things going on right now in from an environmental standpoint, I think you're going to see this being live in general may become a way that companies and people want to communicate, just for health concern reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I think you were saying you have somebody on tomorrow that is an
Yes.
attorney.
Yeah, Mitch Jackson, out one of the top trial lawyers in California, has written a article that we're going to go in more depth on about the impact of coronavirus on speakers, conference attendees and the conferences themselves and the liability. I mean, because you just saw South by Southwest got canceled in Austin, Texas. That's an impact of $345 million to that economy.
What?
And, yeah.
Oh my golly.
And the other thing was that the conference wasn't insured against disease as a cancellation reason. So they're wondering if the conference is even going to be able to come back to life. You know, they're scrambling, and I think I had a spreadsheet I saw. There's been over 160 conferences canceled so far, and people are concerned. You know, and I think you just have to really think about, you know, just being smart. I mean, I'm not a medical expert. I'm not going to try to say whether it's you know, true or false, but you know, you just got to be smart and, you know, wash your hands.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is great. Thanks, Jim, for hosting this and doing this for KBA and promoting it for the university. So our plans are on Thursday at 3:00. We've got another speaker that's going to be on, and we want to add value. We want to give you some nuggets of information that help you, even if you don't attend. But, you know, obviously we'd love to have you. So nothing's better than being in person and hearing the speaker. And this is just a snippet of information in what's going to be covered each session. So we'll go into details and action plans and things like that. So next Tuesday at 3:00, Joe Stockman, who will be talking about systems and processes. And then Brent McCullum, who's been teaching selling courses at KSU for a while. And he does a whole approach thing and mindset and spin method. So, you know, these are people that, you know, if you were to hire them, you're going to pay a lot of money. And so
Right.
they're giving back as part of to the association, their time and resources and knowledge just to help other members. And we obviously want to support them in that effort. So go to, you know, the website, and that's kbau.org, and sign up. We love to have you. And then put it on your calendar for next, Thursday at 3:00,
Right.
where Jim will host the next speaker and give you another couple nuggets
Right.
of information for you to help grow your business. And thanks so much for those that were here. And Jim, thanks for opening up this world to me and to the KBA members.
Right. Because I
I'll
think
be
you
the
said
one that'll.
this was your first time going live as well, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
helping all these people get over that. And I know you weren't afraid. It's just a matter of doing it. And if you want to connect with Pete Kane, go look for him on LinkedIn. And also we've got his phone number on here. If you want to call him and you have other questions about KBA University or KBA, or even if you want to learn about Google My Business, he's
Yeah.
definitely a guy worth talking to. So, you know, Pete, I can't thank you enough for, you know, inviting me to be a part of this. Very excited to, you know, actually, you know, be the same day with Greg. I know him and I are both excited about that on April 22nd. And I think you're right. People can even come live. And then, so absolutely great, great having you on. We'll have to do this
Yep.
again sometime. And thank you, Pete. Thank you, everybody.
welcome.
Especially, we've got a bunch of people over there on LinkedIn. Thank you to all our LinkedIn friends and fans. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to put them in the comments, and Pete will be happy to answer them to them, even if you're watching on the replay.
Love
And
to.
remember, folks, KBA University is where it's going to be at starting on March 25th.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
Appreciate you having me on.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.